We all just got through watching Raw, and now it's time for Hardcore Wrestling Radio's Raw Reaction. Hello, everyone. I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, and we are covering tonight's Raw for December 7th, 2015. And as always, I have the hardcore crew here with me. First, he is the WrestleGamer, Billy Boudreaux. Billy, what's up?
Rick, why do I have to wear the unicorn?
Well, we're going to get to that in a minute, Billy. And next, he's James from the Big Easy. James, what's up?
Uh, why is Billy thinking of unicorns?
I think he's thinking about something else, but again, we're going to get to that. And last and certainly not least, he's the incomparable Lance Moss over at Lance Moss TV on YouTube.com. Lance, what's up?
They Raw keep getting better and better, and Billy, you sick bastard.
Well, let's get started on it. Raw pretty much opened up with it was the League of Nations, excuse me, and they were pretty much just all saying how they were the most powerful stable in the WWE. This, of course, brings out the Wyatt family, Team Extreme, who adds Rhino to their little group, and then also, finally, and last but not least, is the Roman Empire, which is Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos. Um, Billy, this led down to a 16-man tag match, elimination match. We haven't seen one of these in quite a while.
Not since 1997 have we seen one of those. And for those of you who don't know, go back in history, it was Los Boricuas versus the New Nation versus the Truth Commission versus the Disciples of Apocalypse.
And this is the reason why they don't remember anybody remember that.
Well, and basically with the 16-man elimination match, it was just chaos from start to finish. And then eventually, teams eventually got eliminated. It came down to team Roman. It was Roman Reigns' team against the League of Nations, and it ended with Roman spearing Sheamus, getting the pinfall. He pinned the champion. Lance, we pretty much know WWE logic. Usually, when the challenger gets the win on the Go Home show, they usually lose on the pay-per-view, which is this Sunday.
That is very true, but I must say, I wouldn't mind if they do this stable thing every once in a while, or a little bit more often, because y'all know I've been very vocal that I don't like WWE's tag style they have. I quite enjoyed this.
I have a slightly minor objection to what happened on there, especially with the commentator in me. I just got to call it out. Whoever is in the gorilla position, feeding Michael Cole the moves and the move sets and names of the moves. Get it right. A DDT is not the Dreamer Driver.
And again, we talked about how these guys did have a couple of matches. We talked about this before the show. Tommy Dreamer did face Braun Strowman, and that was pretty much a squash match. Lance, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, most definitely, especially since we had the actual main segment there, and as late as they were running, you knew it was gonna be quick, fast, and in a hurry as soon as they came out.
Yeah. Now, James, during this match, Tommy Dreamer always seems to lose more than he wins. Having him lose on Raw, is that going to help his career, hurt his career, or you don't think it's going to have? Do you not think it has any effect at all?
Really, I just don't think it has a real effect on his career. I mean, yeah, I understand your Dreamer always loses, but the fact is, he is one of the legends. He's a legend, and basically, he don't really need wins in singles matches to say, oh, this will hurt his career. Everybody knows him from the ECW, so it's not gonna hurt his career.
No. Well, let's go back a little bit. There was a Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens match, and this was a non-title match. And for what it was a really great back and forth match. I truly enjoyed it. From what I saw, Owens pretty much had the upper hand most of the time, but Eventually, he gets the win with a pop-up power bomb. Um, Lance, what did you think about this match?
Well, I because of who was at ringside, I expected it to turn out a little differently. Because, well, let's face it, we all expected Tyler Breeze to interfere. But yeah, really good match, and two great competitors. One might that might get getting shaft right now, but whatever. It's just, they keep knocking it out of the park.
And Billy, with the Tyler Breeze just sitting there at ringside, he really didn't have that much of an effect. You figured that he was going to get in there and start fighting, but it just that really wasn't the case.
Apparently, WWE thinks that, or creative rather, probably thinks that just having him appear out there during a Dolph Ziggler match would be enough of a build for the angle they've been doing with Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. But I don't agree with that. I think that Tyler Breeze, they should have had him run interference in this match, because not only would it work to the advantage of the Kevin Owens Dean Ambrose angle, but at the very same time it would work to the angle between Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler. Having him sit on there and basically do nothing, not even provide a distraction for Dolph Ziggler in the match, really doesn't do anything to the build. In fact, in my personal opinion, it takes stuff away from the build.
And I can't agree with you more on that. And as you may have pointed out, that right now Ziggler is having a feud with both Kevin Owens and Tyler Breeze, and it seems like he's just going to be the stepping stone for both of these guys. And it for me, I feel it's a shame, because I feel that Ziggler's not really being used in the way he should. He takes a lot of over the top bumps, Billy, as you and I talked about, and it just seems that no matter how many bumps he takes and no matter how much he tries, he just can't seem to get to that next level in his career.
Yeah, he may be like one of these. I don't want to reference him, but Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam always did the over the top, high extreme style of wrestling, and he never really got a championship until 2006, when he was the Money in the Bank winner. Then he cashed in at ECW One Night Stand 2006 with the against John Cena, which he ultimately ended up winning. Now, when it pertains to Dolph Ziggler, possibly he could follow in that footstep. Even though Dolph Ziggler, a lot of people probably don't remember him being a former World Heavyweight Champion. He has been, but mainly because his run really wasn't that great when he was a World Heavyweight Champion. But I think if possibly they could push him and have him have one more good run with any title, and I think that could make his career go even further. As long as they don't make him to be the next Shawn Michaels. It will not. I repeat, it will not. I'll say it one more time. It will not work.
All right, well, let's move on.
Oh, one more thing. I want to throw I hate to take a reference away from James, but I want to throw a flag on Dean Ambrose for wasting good popcorn and soda.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But
That homeless guy is sad on that.
well, earlier tonight, I saw a post about a new item that New Day is trying to promote, and it is the unicorn strap-on, or as I call it, the dildo strap-on. And they
My
were
brain
advertising
hurts.
it like crazy. They even had Team Bad wear it, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Whoever made that cannot see that that's clearly looks like a strap-on dildo on somebody's head. So we can call them the dickheads instead of the New Day. Lance, what did you think when you first saw this new thing they're trying to sell?
I'm thinking they found the unicorn that Perry Saturn described in his shoot interview for kayfabe commentaries.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you talked about how early in the match after the Owens Ziggler match, we're kind of backtracking here a little bit. HWR, we always are all over the fucking place. Um,
That's
we
how
saw
we do.
exactly. We saw Dean Ambrose come out. He had popcorn, he had soda, and pretty much just throws the shit in right in Kevin Owens' face and leaves. So I guess that was a food fight with Dean Ambrose coming out the top. Um, we saw the match where there was Jack Swagger, and he was taking on Stardust. Now, Swagger got the win with a Patriot Lock, and during the match, Alberto Del Rio comes down. So it comes out where they start beating the hell out of each other with chairs, so we know that they're going to be facing each other at TLC in a chair match. But during this fight, um, Del Rio trips over Zeb Coulter, who happened to have the seat, who's ringside. In the back, he pretty much told Zeb Coulter to get lost, that he wants something more to do with him. Lance, I'm going to ask you this. Do you see Zeb Coulter kind of becoming a babyface and hanging out with Jack Swagger, or do you think they're just going to run him off altogether?
The way they're booking this, or they have angled, it's going for Swagger and Dutch. Zeb Coulter to reunite
Well,
and costing Del Rio the belt.
and it's an interesting point there, James. If they do reunite Zeb Coulter with Jack Swagger, do you even see Swagger getting the possibility of winning the United States title TLC, or you think he's just going to get jobbed out?
I think he's gonna get jobbed out. I think this is just a way to get Coulter and um, Swagger back together. Because I feel like with Del Rio, as the champion, he doesn't really need anybody to be his manager. And also the fact is that I feel that he's going to lose the title, but he's not going to lose it to Swagger. I think when Cena comes back, Cena's going to get the title back.
Ricardo Rodriguez hates you right now, James.
Ricardo!
But here's the thing. WWE never contacted them. Oh wait, that's for another. That's in the news. Oh well.
Uh, well, moving on. Early in the night, Ric Flair and his daughter, the Divas champion Charlotte, came out for Miz TV, and pretty much Miz pointed out that Charlotte is now doing everything that was pissing off about Paige, how she was pissing her off and doing all the unjust things, and he's saying that now maybe those are your real colors, true colors. She eventually calls out Paige. Paige comes down, and Ric Flair's like, no, pick your fights, pick your fights. Charlotte gets out of the ring, but Ric Flair stays in the ring because, of course, he has to steal the spotlight. But for that, he hits a good slap in the face. This, of course, brings on a huge cat fight. Now, about 2 weeks ago, we saw Charlotte and Paige kind of have the shoot where they brought in Reed Flair. And Ric Flair said he objected to the whole situation, but now it seems, Billy, like
Can we make a slight correction on that? Now, we are under the assumption that they brought up, we're assuming that they're referring to Reed Flair, but Reed Flair's name was never physically mentioned
Billy.
in the shoot.
He didn't have to be mentioned, but I think it's the
exactly. That's exactly my point.
Yeah. So, anyways, moving on, Billy. Did you really think that Ric Flair needed to be brought into the picture to make her heel, or do you think it only helped the situation?
I think possibly, yeah. If this is like I said, the genesis of the Charlotte heel gimmick in WWE, Ric Flair is a pivotal part of it, because if they're going to try to evolve Charlotte into being what we called on WGSTV a couple of weeks ago, when they started doing this mess with her, the next nature, well, I guess nature girl, I guess, or the next Flair, and the next dirtiest player in the game, then yeah, Ric Flair had to be a pivotal part. But there's just one important question, gentlemen, that we have not yet conceded or even asked ourselves: is how far into the minibar was Ric Flair tonight?
Well, Lance, I'll put that one over to you. Did he look pretty shit-faced, or did he look kind of sober? For me, he always has a red face, so you can never really tell.
Well, I think Paige kind of slapped him sober, but I am very hesitant if they do try to do this nature girl gimmick.
Yeah.
Because I have said it time and time again. They should not, when WWE brings in second, third, fourth, however the hell many generations they should not try to be carbon copies or as close to carbon copies as their parents get. That always ends badly.
Yeah, you know what? I wholeheartedly agree with you. I mean, unfortunately, in this situation, I don't think it really was Charlotte's choice. Triple H is a big Ric Flair mark, and I'm sure they said, hey, if we want to bring you in, we're going to bring you as Charlotte, which is not even a real name. So, but So, as far as to answer your other question about Paige slapping Ric Flair sober, I don't even think that's physically
Well,
possible.
maybe it might have sobered him up just a little bit.
Well, let's get on to the main segment. The final, great finale. I can't even fucking talk tonight.
Finale.
Thank
It
you
is-
very much. The main event segment.
For you to say.
Hey, excuse me. Okay, guys, I'm a little fucking stoned right now. Leave me alone. So, anyway,
What else? No.
not much. So, Roman Reigns is in the ring with tables, ladders, and chairs, and essentially calls out Sheamus, who pretty much wanted to teach him a lesson. Sheamus stays up by the stage, way out of distance, until Reigns eventually cons him into getting in the ring. This pretty much over a few minutes, Sheamus eventually gets in, and when we start having a fight, it goes all around the arena, and where it ends up where Reigns spears Sheamus right through a table. Billy, my question to you is: we've seen it all before with WWE, how they have the challenger coming out on top at the end of the at the go home show. Does this mean that Reigns is going to lose at TLC, or do you think that's they're gearing up for him to get the win?
Well, if this was a traditional one-on-one match for the World Heavyweight title, I would say, they could throw in the wrinkle of having Roman Reigns win by disqualification, and therefore he would win the match, but he would not win the title. But with this being a tables, ladders, and chairs match, that is an entirely different dichotomy when you're trying to dissect which way WWE Creative is going to go. Which way are they going to push? Are they going to keep the title on the extremely white guy, or they're going to are they going to put the title on the monotone sounding Samoan? It's really hard to say which way they're going to go with this. Um, Now, 9 times out of 10, WWE logic, or lack thereof, applies that whenever the challenger goes over on the go home show, then they would not go over on the pay per view. However, in some instances, and albeit rare, but there have been instances where the challenger would go over on the go home show and would go over on the pay per view. I would not be surprised for WWE and WWE Creative to pull a swerve on us and have Roman Reigns win the title at TLC.
All right, James. During Roman Reigns' promo, he kind of talked about the Shield because that was their first TLC match that got them established. There's been rumors that when Seth Rollins comes back for injury, which could be anywhere from 6 to 9 months, that they're going to reform the Shield. Do you think this was really needed, or do you think it's just a rumor mill going crazy?
I think it's a rumor mill going crazy because really it's that Seth Rollins a was created a great heel over the time. Yeah, he was a sucky champion because they had him lose or win by DQ somehow to retain the title, in some crazy odd weird fashion. And I just don't think they unless the Shield is become as a heel faction, I just don't see it. But going on to that, Billy, I'm going to talk about your your logic. The only reason why I say Roman Reigns isn't going to win the title at TLC is because you still have to add the factor of the League of Nations.
Well, and that's it's a fair point, and I could see different how it can go in different ways. So, but you know what, guys, we are gonna wrap it up here right now. We want to know you, the fans, hardcore wrestling radio fans, your thoughts tonight's Raw. Was it better or is it getting worse? Put your comments in the comment section below. Make sure you like, share, and of course, always subscribe to Hardcore Wrestling Radio. As always, I'd love to thank my good friend, Billy, the WrestleGamer, who can only put wrestling and video games together. Nobody else can do it the best way that you can, Billy. What do you got going on over at WGSTV?
I will be continuing my playthrough of the creepy psychological point-and-click horror game Frambo. If you guys want to see what's going on with Frambo and in the current situation, the only way to do that is go to youtube.com/WrestleGamer. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday to the late, great, ravishing Rick Rude.
All right. And James, you're over the Big Easy. Where can people find you? What do you got going on?
I'm on, well, you can now mostly see me on Twitter at Fatboy504, but I could also maybe doing some gameplay on twitch.tv/Fatboy504. It's more PS4 gameplay. It's one of these more sports stuff. I might get some more games for the PS4 before Christmas time, so I can, do it through Twitch.
All right, and Lance, finally over you. You're over at Lance Moss TV at YouTube.com. Guys, get on over there and give my pal a good subscribe. Lance, what do you got going on over there?
I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, musical equipment reviews. Every Wednesday, I go live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. And I am on Twitter at Atlanta Moss TV. And since we're giving out happy birthday wishes, I want to wish a happy birthday to the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose.
And we could also wish a happy birthday to the late Rick Rude. He would have been 57 today. So, Rick, we miss you, man. So, but guys, this Saturday we're gonna have a special edition of In the Moment where we're gonna do our TLC picks and previews. So make sure you get on over there and check us out. So for everyone here, I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
HWR is now proudly endorsing the brand new HWR Tater Tots, the most hardcore tater tots ever in history, now proudly endorsed by Sheamus.